Wow. O-H. I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for waiting in line. Thank you for coming here tonight. Thank you for knocking on the doors, for making the phone calls. Thank you, Ohio, for delivering your state for the next President of the United States, Mitt Romney. I want to thank my speaker, our speaker, John Boehner, for being the speaker. I want to thank these other Buckeye leaders, Rob Portman, John Kasich. These are great leaders. Thank you guys for what you've done for our country. And I want to introduce you to my best and better half, my wife, Jana. I got my lucky Buckeye with me tonight. Rob guarantees me that this wins elections. You know, while we're celebrating tonight the fact that we can come together and save this country and put us on the right track, let's keep our fellow Americans in the Northeast who are suffering in the wake of the storm in our prayers. We can go to redcross.org and make a donation if we can. I would encourage you to do that because that's what we do in America. We come together in our moment of need, and that's what we owe our friends in the Northeast. This is a big election. We have a really big choice ahead of us. We're not just picking a president for 4 more years. We are choosing for at least a generation what kind of people we're going to be and what kind of country we're going to give to our kids and our grandkids. And Ohio, you know it. You know you're the linchpin. You're the battleground of battlegrounds. Ohio, you going to help us win this thing? That's exactly right. Look, 4 years ago, that's right. Four years ago, President Obama said he would do all these great things, hope and change. He'd cut the deficit in half. He'd bring everybody together. The deficit's doubled. It's the most partisan time we've had. And just look at the jobs that didn't occur. We got a new jobs report today. Unemployment is higher than the day he took office. You got 23 million Americans struggling for work today. 15% of our fellow citizens living in poverty today. That's the highest in a generation. All those jobs he said he'd create if he just borrowed a lot of money and gave it to all these interest groups, it didn't materialize. We have a jobs crisis. Wouldn't it be nice to actually have a job creator in the White House for a change? Four years ago, I want to read you a quote. If you don't have fresh ideas, use stale tactics to scare voters. If you don't have a record to run on, then you paint your opponent as someone people should run from. You make a big election about small things. You know who that was 4 years ago? Okay, so you do know who that was 4 years ago. That's what President Obama, when he was candidate, said 4 years ago. And that's exactly what he has become. Here's the good news. We don't have to take this anymore. The good news is we don't have to settle for this. We can do better than this. We need leadership. We need Mitt Romney as our next president of the United States. This is a time for big ideas. This is a time for a real reform, for a real recovery. This is who Mitt Romney is. Look at this man's life, achievement, leadership. Look at what he's done in the private sector. He helped create tens of thousands of jobs. By the way, being successful in business, that's a good thing. We want that. We believe in success. We want more of it. This is a man who reached across the aisle, who didn't demonize and demagogue Democrats. He worked with them. He found common ground. He got things done. He balanced the budget without raising taxes. That's the kind of leadership we need. Ladies and gentlemen, this is big, and it's bigger than just paycheck issues. It's the most important election in our lifetimes, no matter what generation we come from. It's about the American idea. No matter who you are or where you come from, in this country, because of freedom, because of liberty, because of self-determination, because of those timeless founding principles, because the government is supposed to work for us and not the other way around, we have the American idea. That's what this country's built on. Our rights come from nature and nature's God, not from government. That's the American idea. Our founders created this vision. They founded the country on it, and every one of these veterans that are here in the audience, they put on the uniform, they fought for us, they sacrificed, and they preserved it for us, and we thank them for what they've done for our country. This is our moment, Ohio. This is the time when we want to wake up on Wednesday morning and look back and see that we met the moment. We want to make sure that we talk to everybody we know who thought hope and change sounded good, but they now know it didn't work. This is the time to elect a leader. This is the moment where the man and the moment are meeting perfectly. Mitt Romney is the right man for this moment. We can do this. We know what we need to do. We are not going to duck these tough issues. We are not going to run away from our problems. We are going to tackle this country's problems before they tackle us, and we're not going to spend the next 4 years blaming other people. We're going to take responsibility and fix this mess in Washington. We are not going to try to transform this country into something it was never intended to be. Look, I spent 4 great years of my life right in Butler County up Route 27 at Miami of Ohio. This is a good place. We know who we are. We know what we believe in. We know what made this country great. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so honored, I am so proud to introduce to you the next President and First Lady of the United States, Mitt and Ed Romney. Thank you so much. Thank you.
you so much, Ohio. Thank you. I know who you're here to see, and she's here right next to me, my sweetheart, Ann Romney.
Hi, everybody. Oh, my gosh. This is quite a crowd. Who's going to win next Tuesday? And is Ohio going to do it for us? What a thrill for us to be here. What a thrill for me to stand next to the man that's going to be the next president of the United States. This is a man that will not fail. This is a man that is going to turn around America, and I'm going to be so happy to be by his side when I can watch and see him do that. So thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. What a gathering tonight. I want to thank you for joining Paul and me and our families and our friends tonight. You're sending a message tonight to the entire nation. Thank you. And by the way, thanks to Kid Rock and the other entertainers who've come for us tonight, and thanks to the extraordinary team of national leaders who have gathered here. Look at this team here. Now, you probably heard they've gathered here tonight because they're about to fan out across the entire nation to make sure that we have victory on November 6th. And some comic in the team has named us the Romney-Ryan Real Recovery Road Rally. I got it out. That's R6 for short, and you're going to see them going across the country. They're going to make sure that we win. Ohio is a center place. We're going to make sure this is the place we take, and we're going to take back the White House. Now, it's good to be in Ohio with Governor Kasich and Lieutenant Governor Taylor and with Senator Portman and to be able to be in John Boehner's hometown. Your state is the one I'm counting on, by the way. This is the one we have to win. Now, I want to take just a moment to remind all of us that there are many, many of our fellow Americans who are suffering from the devastation caused by Hurricane Sandy. And our thoughts and prayers go out to them. And if you're able to help, please donate to the Salvation Army or the American Red Cross. We're a generous people. Don't forget them. Thank you. And let me tell you, it's great to be here with the next Vice President of the United States, Paul Ryan, and his wife, Janet. You know, next to Ann Romney, Paul Ryan is the best choice I've made. You know that? Now, tonight we enter the final weekend of the campaign. At Obama rallies, they're saying 4 more years. We have a different cry, of course. What is it? Exactly right. Oh, thank you. Look what I've started. We are so very grateful to you and to people across the country for all that you've given of yourselves to this campaign. And as you know, this is not just about Paul and me. It's about America and the future we're going to leave to our children. We thank you, and we ask you to stay at it all the way until victory on Tuesday night. Now, I have a question for you. Are you finally ready for real change? As you know, 4 years ago, candidate Barack Obama promised to do so very much, but he's fallen so very short. He promised to be a post-partisan president, but he became the most partisan of our presidents, blaming, attacking, dividing. Then he was going to focus on creating jobs. Instead, he focused on Obamacare, which killed jobs. He said he was going to cut the federal deficit in half, but then he doubled it. He said that the unemployment rate would now be at 5.2%. Today we learned it's at 7.9%. And by the way, that's 9 million jobs short of what was promised. Unemployment is higher today than when he took office. He promised that he'd propose a plan to save Social Security and Medicare from insolvency. He didn't. and rather he raided $716 billion from Medicare for his vaunted Obamacare plan. He said he'd lower health care premiums for the average family by $2,500 a year. Now they're higher by $3,000 a year. And gasoline, the American family pays $2,000 a year more for gasoline than when the president was elected. You know, he also said he'd work across the aisle on the most important issues. He has not met on the economy or on the budget or on jobs with either the Republican leader of the House or the Senate since July. So instead of bridging the divide, he's made it wider. Now, how is it that he's fallen so far short of what he promised? In part, it's because he'd never led before, never worked across the aisle, never truly understood how jobs are created in the real economy. And so today he makes new promises, promises he'll be unable to keep because he admits he's going to stay on the same path. The same course we've been on will not lead to a better destination, Mr. President. The same path means $20 trillion in debt. It means crippling unemployment, stagnant take-home pay, depressed home values, and a devastated military. And unless we change, we may be looking at another recession. The question of this election comes down to this. Do you want more of the same, or do you want real change? Now, President Obama promised change, but he couldn't deliver it. I promised change, and I have a record of achieving it. I actually built a business, and I turned to run another business. I helped put an Olympics back on track. And with a Democrat legislature, I helped turn my state from deficit to surplus, from job losses to job growth, and from higher taxes to higher take-home pay. That's why I'm running for president. I know how to change the course the nation is on. I know how to get us to a balanced budget. I know how to build jobs and rising take-home pay. And by the way, accomplishing real change is not something I just talk about. It's something I've done. It's what I'm going to do when I'm president of the United States, with your help. If you believe we can do better, if you believe America should be on a better course, if you're tired of being tired, then I ask you to vote for real change, and Paul Ryan will bring real change to America from day one. Now, I know that when we're elected, the economy and American jobs will still be stagnant, but I'm not going to waste any time complaining about my predecessor. I won't spend my effort trying to pass partisan legislation unrelated to economic growth. From day one, I'm going to go to work to help Americans get back to work. People across the country are responding to our 5-part plan to create jobs, and you've heard about it before. Part 1 is taking full advantage of our energy resources. On day one, I'm going to act to increase the number of leases and permits to drill on federal lands. I'm going to act to speed approval of the Keystone Pipeline from Canada. And I'm going to revisit coal regulations that were designed by the administration to strangle the industry. So on day one, we'll be closer to energy independence. Now, second, I'm going to move to boost trade, especially in Latin America, and I'm going to ask Congress for trade promotion authority. That's a power every president has used or requested since it was first created in 1974, with the exception of President Obama. And I will finally designate China as a currency manipulator. It's time for trade to work for America. Third, I'm going to send Congress the Retraining Reform Act to make sure that every worker who feels left behind in this economy can get the skills and the chance for a good-paying job. We deserve it. Fourth, I'm going to move to tackle out-of-control spending. I'm going to send Congress the first of several fundamental reforms. The first will be called the Down Payment on Fiscal Sanity Act, to immediately cut, not just slow the rate of growth, but actually cut non-security discretionary spending by 5%. And by the way, I'm not just going to take office on January 20th. I'm going to take responsibility for that office as well. And number 5, I'm going to act to boost small business and all business. I'm going to issue executive orders aimed straight at the problems that are holding this economy back. The first will grant state waivers from Obamacare to every state so we can begin its repeal. The launch of a sweeping review of all Obama-era regulations will follow with an eye to eliminating or repairing any regulation that kills jobs or hurts small business. And by the way, every entrepreneur, every small business person, every job creator will know that for the first time in 4 years, the government of the United States likes them and loves the jobs and higher wages they bring to our fellow Americans. We've almost forgotten what a real recovery looks like, what Americans can achieve when we limit government instead of limiting the dreams of our fellow Americans. And that's going to change. Now you can choose your future. You know what you need to know. You can stay on the path of the last 4 years, or you can choose real change. You know that if the president were to be reelected, he would still be unable to work with the people in Congress. He's ignored them. He's attacked them, blamed them. The debt ceiling, it's going to come up again, and shutdown and default will be threatened, chilling the economy. The president was right the other day when he said he can't change Washington from the inside. We're going to take him at his word and give a chance to be outside Washington soon. Now, when I'm elected president, I'm going to work with Republicans and Democrats in Congress. I'm going to meet regularly with their leaders. I'll endeavor to find those good men and women on both sides of the aisle who care more about the country than about politics. Together, we're going to put the nation on track to a balanced budget, to reform our tax code, and to finally reaffirm our commitment to financial responsibility. It's got to happen. Now, you know, if the president were to be reelected, he'd continue his war on coal and oil and natural gas. He'd send billions of more dollars to his favorite solar and wind companies. And all of this will guarantee higher energy prices at the pump and fewer jobs. Today, gas costs twice as much as it did when President Obama was elected. When I'm elected, we're going to change course on energy. I know just how much energy means to middle-class families. We can help hold down prices at the pump, grow new energy and manufacturing jobs, and get North American energy independence. Now, you know, if the president's reelected, he's going to continue to promote government and demote businesses. He chose, by the way, his own Jobs Council. It was made up of the business leaders he selected. You know how long it's been since he met with them? 9 months. 9 months. Now, you see, I see free enterprise as a means for people to fulfill their dreams. Yesterday, I was in Richmond, Virginia. I met Rhoda Elliott. She's been running her family restaurants for years. It's a business that's been in her family for 82 years. At its high point, she employed 200 people at Bill's Barbecue. She just closed it down, telling me that regulations and taxes and Obamacare and the effects of the Obama economy put her out of business after 82 years. She teared up. This wasn't about money. This is about the future for her family and for her family of employees. Look, I want to help the hundreds of thousands of dreamers like Rhoda, and I will. Now, you know that if the president is reelected, he's going to say every good thing he can think of about education. But in the final analysis, he'll do what his largest campaign supporters, the public sector's unions, will insist upon. And your kids will be in the same schools with the same results. When I'm president, I'm going to be a voice of the children and their parents, There's no union for the PTA. I'm going to make sure parents have the information they need to know if their school is succeeding or failing, and I want them to have the choice they need to pick the school where their child can succeed. Now, I've watched over these last few months as our campaign has gathered, well, the strength of a movement. It's not only the size of crowds like this, it's the depth of our shared conviction, our readiness for new possibilities, the sense that our work is soon to begin. It's made me strive more to be worthy of your support, to campaign as I would govern, to speak for the aspirations of all Americans. I learned as governor of Massachusetts that the best achievements are shared achievements. I learned that respect and goodwill go a long way and are usually returned in kind. That's how I'll conduct myself as president. I'll reach out to both sides of the aisle. I'll bring people together, do big things for the common good. I won't just represent one party. I'll represent one nation. I'll try to show the best of America at a time when only our best will do. Now, throughout this campaign, President Obama has tried to convince you that these last 4 years have been a success. He's been floating a plan for the next 4 years. He wants to take all the things he did in his first term, the stimulus, the borrowing, Obamacare, all the rest, and then try them all over again. But our big dreams will not be satisfied with the small agenda that's already failed us. And today, did you see what President Obama said today? He asked his supporters to vote for revenge. For revenge. Instead, I asked the American people to vote for love of country. It is absolutely essential that together we lead America to a better place than that. We're 4 days away from a fresh start. 4 days away from the first day of a new beginning. My conviction that better days are ahead is not based on promises and hollow rhetoric, but on solid plans and proven results. And it's based on an unshakable faith in the American spirit. If there's anyone worried that the last 4 years are the best we can do, if there's anyone who fears that the American dream is fading, if there's anyone who wonders whether better jobs and better paychecks are things of the past, I have a clear and unequivocal message. With the right leadership, America is coming roaring back. We are Americans. We can do anything. The only thing that stands between us and some of the best years we've ever known is a lack of leadership. And that's why we have elections. This Tuesday is a moment to look into the future and imagine what we can do, to put the past 4 years behind us and start building a new future. And you saw the differences when President Obama and I were side to side in our debates. He says it has to be this way. I say it can't stay this way. He's offering excuses. I've got a plan. I can't wait for us to get started. He's hoping we'll settle. Americans don't settle. We build. We aspire. We listen to that voice inside us that says we can do better. A better job. A better life for our kids. A bigger, better country. That better life is out there. It's waiting for us. Our destiny is in the hands of the American people. 4 more days. 4 more days. 4 more days and we can get to work rebuilding our country, restoring our confidence and renewing our conviction. Confidence that we're on a solid path to steady improvement. Confidence that college graduates 4 years from now will find better jobs. Confidence that single moms working 2 jobs today will have a shot at a better job tomorrow. On November 6th, we come together for a better future. On November 7th, we'll get to work. We're going to reach across the street to that neighbor with the other yard sign. And we'll reach across the aisle in Washington to people of good faith in that other party. There's so much more than just this being our moment. It's America's moment of renewal and purpose and optimism. We've journeyed far and wide in this great campaign for America's future. Now we're almost home. One final push will get us there. We've known many long days and short nights, and we are so very, very close. The door to a brighter future is there. It's open. It's waiting for us. I need your vote. I need your help. Walk with me. Walk together. You know, some time ago, Ann and I watched a show on television. It had a fictional football team that would go out of the locker room and touch a sign as they headed out to the gridiron where they would inevitably play teams that were ranked higher than they. And the sign they touched said, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. I'm convinced that the people of Ohio have clear eyes. You understand what's at stake. I know you have full hearts. You love this country and its future. And I know we can't lose on Tuesday. We're going to win. I need your help. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Thank you so very much. Thank you.